Okay, welcome to my error correction session. Today we're going to discuss some types of errors that the students make in our classes, and we're going to discuss when to correct them. And finally, we're going to cover how to correct them, different ways of correction or different techniques. So let's start right away. Again, we have three teachers here, three perspectives. I'll give you 1 minute to read through the three opinions or the three views on errors. And once you finish, you just type 1, 2, or 3 in the chat box, whichever you like, and mention why. One sentence to tell me why you choose teacher 1, or you chose teacher 2, or you chose teacher number 3. Do not type anything in the chat box yet. Just give yourself a minute of thinking. Okay, now you can type in the chat box, which teacher do you like most? Or which teacher represents you and why? Just one sentence. Okay, lovely. So many people chose number 3. Number 3. Okay, this is a very sane choice, but who you really are, who you are as a teacher, because sometimes we just, want to fix everything. And some other people are too, like D 111222 111 Okay. So I know that number 3 is the sanest option, or let's say the wisest. But aren't we all sometimes number 1? Like whenever our students make a mistake or make mistakes, we just jump and try to fix it. It happens. So we try to be number 3, but most of teachers care a lot about, correcting every single error they hear, which is not absolutely right. Some other teachers like Muhammad Imam, he feels bad about correcting the students' errors, and he feels it's judgmental and demotivating. So today's session is going to help us become more of 3. So it's a natural part of the learning process, and very useful. So your first mistake is your best teacher. This is one of the sayings I really like very much. So today we're going to cover some kind of errors that students make in our classrooms, and The second section of the session today is going to cover um, when to correct them. Should we correct immediately, or should we delay the correction, or maybe not correct at all? Okay. So Nagwa says it depends on the skill. As for writing skills, I can choose 2. For speaking, I can be 3. Okay. So we need to find the balance here, and this session today will help you find this balance, when to correct and how to correct, and sometimes when not to correct at all. This session is taken mostly from the CELTA book by Scott Thornburry. So it is not designed by me. I just, gathered some useful handouts from the book. So this is taken just for the copyright's sake. It's taken from the CELTA book, Scott Thornburry, Cambridge. The publisher is Cambridge University Press. Okay, let's move on. We have 8 mistakes, but before we start that, let's stop share for a second. The word register. So it actually means the level of formality. I'm sorry for the bad quality of lighting. I'm really sorry. I know it's kind of. So when I say register as an ELT terminology, as an ELT term, what do you think it means? Can you give me an example of a formal register in the chat box? So again, I'm just pre-teaching the word register. Register is the level of formality. So formal register, informal register, because you will see this word. Yes, I wonder if you could. Okay, do you speak with your manager with like informal or informal register? Normally. With your manager. Informal? He's a good manager. Okay. So here says informal. Okay, maybe the manager is friendly, unlike most of the managers around the world. What about your wife or your husband? Do you speak with her formally or informally? Formal, but she's still friendly. Okay, Zainab. I thought that you were talking about your husband. Okay. If you speak with your husband in a formal way, that means you need to see a counselor or something. Okay? You need to speak about this marriage. You will save it, I hope. But if you speak with your wife formally or with your husband formally, I'm worried about you. It's not going to be on Facebook, Mahmoud. I will just, upload it on my YouTube. As for men, formally, for women, formally, or informally. Informally, this is uniform. Anyway, so let's move back to the exercise. I'll give you 5 minutes to match each mistake or each to its type. Like, this is a grammar mistake, this is a register, this is an intonation error, this is a pronunciation error. So we have 8 errors and 8 different categories. Okay, you just need to match. Give you 5 minutes for that. And if you're watching the recording, you can pass you can try first, then fast forward the coming 5 minutes. Okay. You can type the answers in the chat box, but please do not press enter. You can just keep them ready in the chat box. Do not press enter. Nagwa, please do not press enter until I say so. Okay, just have them ready in the chat box. So can you hit enter now? I carried my desk to the other side while you were doing the task. So the lighting is a bit better now. Can you please hit enter? Excellent. I can see some very good answers. Lovely, lovely. So Ahmed, El Effendi, and Ali, I guess like I gave it a very general look and I guess they're all right. So do you agree that number one is F? One? Do you have any problem with this? Number one, I agree, it's F, because for years, what kind of tense do we need to use here? Only present perfect or present perfect continuous? Thank you, Nada. Yes, we can use the present perfect, but the best option here, present perfect continuous. Lovely. And if you want to argue with me here, we can do a session on the perfect aspect. Okay, lovely. Number two, what do you think? So if you say H, which word is incorrect? Bring me the menu. I can say this to my friend, to my wife. So the word is correct. Bring me the menu. But can you say this to a waiter in a restaurant? مسلمة وأفتخر بالإسلام ديني. Yes, this is very informal that we cannot speak with our you know, we can speak with our friends like that, but would you please bring me the menu, or bring me the menu please? Like, yes, Nada, it will be more polite if we use please. Without please, it sounds rude when we, you know, speak to a waiter like that. Okay, number three. May I is like when we ask for permission, Mahmoud. So it's not gonna be like very appropriate here. So could you, would you, can you will be much better. Okay, number three. Yes, some people are saying D, some people are saying G. So the problem here is with the choice of words, which is D. The problem here is vocabulary. Badly damaged. Do we say damage when, you know, when we fell off a bike? Of course not. Do we use it on body parts? I don't think so. Broken, injured, badly injured. Number two is E, Farah. Number three is D. So problem with choice of words. Lovely, which is vocabulary. So number four, what do you think the problem here is? Most welcome, Farah. So the normal intonation for this question, let me ask first, what's the normal intonation for question tags? The normal intonation. Thank you, Nada. Rising or it's Up. Okay. But do you think number 4 is a real question or a conversation starter, like a rhetorical question? So it will sound really crazy when you say, it's a lovely day, isn't it? Like rising intonation here sound really, really wrong. So it's a lovely day, isn't it? So I'm just starting a conversation with you. So normally question tags or yes, no questions are rising, like the intonation is rising. But here, this is not a real question. That's why it's a falling intonation. So the problem here is with intonation. So B. Yes, Mahmoud, something similar to that. Number 5. This sofa is very comfortable. Comfortable. Can we say that? Yes, word stress pronunciation. It's this sofa is very comfortable. Comfortable. So some students comfortable. Comfortable. No, this is not the right pronunciation. So this is like a wrong word stress. Lovely. Okay. So number 6. Yes, that's obvious. Supposedly, where is the teacher standing? Number 7. Number 7, I'm going to hit you. Maybe they wanted to say, I'm going to hit you. So this is very incorrect. Maybe rude. So it's H. I'm going to hit you. This is an incorrect word. I'm going to hit you. Hit or hate. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the student wanted to say. But this is an incorrect word. Beat you. Okay. And 8. Number 6. Ali Ashur, number 6. You're asking about number 6, my friend? It's C. The problem is with word order, grammar. Number 7, H. Number 8, of course, this is the most common mistake that we have in our classroom, with subject-verb agreement. Number 2, okay. Bring me the menu. The problem here is with register. Again, register is the level of formality. Amazing. 8 is G. Yes, Shayma. Buthaina, he likes. 2 is E. Well done. Mahmoud Ibrahim. Okay, allow me to say the answers one last time. Number 1, F. 2, E. 3, D. 4, B. 5, A. 6, C. And 7, H. Okay, we still have number 8, G. Okay. Yes, Mahmoud. F, E, D, B, A, C, H, G. Lovely, Jabli. So now we covered some kinds of errors and their classification. Let's move on to when to correct. So we have 3 options here. Allow me to annotate here. We have 3 options, A, B, and C. For A, the teacher should not correct the error. Option B, the teacher should delay correction and provide feedback at the end of the activity. And C, the teacher should correct the error immediately. So how many options do we have? I am answering my questions. If a CELTA tutor comes to my session now, they will give me a hard time. I am reading aloud and answering my own questions. So CELTA tutors are fussy and they will keep nagging about, why are you reading aloud? Why are you reading aloud in the classroom? I do that to my candidates. Anyway, how many options do we have when it comes to when to correct? Why is my PowerPoint black? Can you see it, Mariam? Is it okay? What do you mean by black? Okay, yeah, you mean the outline, the background. It does it alone, Mariam. It does it like by itself. This is a MacBook and you know, it turns to the night mode by itself. Okay, lovely. Abdullah Amir is here, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here, my friend. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Abdullah, for honoring me by attending. So we have three options. As we agreed, the pleasure is all mine, my friend. Thank you, Abdullah. So we have three options when it comes to when to correct our students' errors. So we have the option not to correct at all, which is option A. Do not correct the error at all. Option B, you just delay it and you can just provide feedback at the end of the activity. And option C is you must correct now on the spot once it happens. And we have 4 lessons. I'll give you 5 minutes. And if you're watching the recording, you also need to try to answer here. You read lesson 1, and after you read lesson 1 and what happens or the type of interaction in lesson 1 and the type of error, you choose A, B, or C. Again, for each lesson, you're going to pick one option. We have 4 lessons. Do you think how many options are going to be used twice? We have 4 lessons and 3 options. Do you think we will use one option more than once? Lovely. So now 5 minutes. If you're watching this as a recording, you can pause, then fast forward 5 minutes. Okay. Do not type your answer in the chat box, but do not press enter unless I say so. Thank you. 5 minutes. Thank you, Ahmed, for asking me to maximize. Okay, I guess most of you have just finished. Can you please type one in the chat box? Sorry, can you please press enter in the chat box? Some very nice answers. Okay, lovely, lovely. So I'll just give you a quick comment on this task in order to give you an idea on when to correct. When to correct. Your answers are valid, great answers, thank you. For lesson 1, delayed error correction on the board is the best type here because we shouldn't hinder the flow of the speech during a fluency activity. So you need to ask yourself a question. I don't want you to memorize my clarification of error correction. I just want you to ask yourself a question whenever you feel it's urgent to correct. If it hinders the flow of the speech, like if it, you know, if it will stop them speaking in a fluency activity, if your aim behind the stage or behind the activity is fluency, please do not interrupt. Please do not correct. Just note it down for a delayed error correction on the board. So let's assume that you ask them to speak about their future dreams at the end of a grammar lesson. You clarified some future forms and you provided them with an activity to speak about their future dreams or plans or whatever. And you heard somebody saying, I going to travel to Canada. So stop that urge within you that makes you want to stop him and say, I am going to travel to Canada. Stop that, because it's a fluency activity. They're speaking. You could have done this in the open pairs demonstration. You could have done this in the controlled practice before they start speaking. So once it's a fluency task, do not interrupt to correct their errors. Otherwise, note the errors down. While monitoring, you can just take some notes about their good practice, about their mistakes, about their errors, about their good use of the target language. Because when we go to the board for a delayed error correction stage, it's highly demotivating if you just list 5 or 6 mistakes without any praise or any extolling to their good production, to their good use of language. So do not make the delayed error correction or your linguistic feedback all about mistakes. Praise their good use of language, then elicit the corrections from them. Do it in student-centered manner. Okay, so delayed error correction, do not make it all about errors. So in the linguistic feedback, you need to throw some praise to the language, the good language they produced, especially the target language. As for lesson number 2, if it was me, I will correct on the spot here because it doesn't affect any fluency. Aya Ashraf says, I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. Is the sound okay on my side? Do you hear me well? Type 1 if yes. So yes, I do now. No. Some people say yes, some people say no. Allow me to tether my phone. I'll just use my hotspot on my phone. I works better. Is it better now? Okay, again, number one, delayed error correction on the board because we shouldn't hinder the flow of the speech during a fluency activity. So you can ask yourself one question. Is this for fluency? And please do not ask this question to yourself on the spot. You can do this while planning. Here I'm going to correct on the spot because it's a controlled practice task. So it doesn't hinder any kind of fluency. So the question here, is it fluency or not? If it is fluency, please do not correct on the spot, delay it. And when you delay the correction, do not only correct the errors, praise the good practice or the good use of the language your students were able to do. Lovely. So number two, I will correct on the spot because it doesn't affect the students' fluency. It doesn't affect the students' fluency. When do you think this error happened? Actually, this error, I guess, it happened during feedback. Like maybe nomination, you were asking the question and they made the mistake. So it might also happen during demonstration or in open pairs, which is also kind of demonstration. So it's important to correct on the spot. So my students did the controlled practice task and they checked in pairs. Now one of them made a mistake while I was giving feedback. That's why I will correct on the spot because it doesn't hinder any fluency. They were not speaking for fluency. It wasn't a conversation, okay? And if you're not sure what open pairs, what kind of technique it is, you can go to my YouTube channel and there was a 2-minute or 3-minute video about open pairs. So lesson number 3, what do you think? Will we correct on the spot, delay the correction, or do not correct at all? Thank you, Mahmoud. Yes, we need to know the aim, but I guess I will go with A. I will never correct here. And hey, you should have a heart. You should have a heart. I remember myself telling Abdullah Amir and his team about this story from Scott's book, Scott Thornburry's book. Do not be a grammar teacher, because some teachers have this kind of syndrome, OGS, obsessive grammar syndrome. There is a disease. It is a disease. Like the word was invented by Scott Thornburry. So there is a story about a student coming late to the classroom and he knocked on the door. And when the teacher opened, he asked, okay, hey, why are you late? The student said, I'm sorry, teacher, my grandfather dies yesterday. The teacher said, what? Dies? This is wrong. My grandfather died yesterday. Repeat after me. My grandfather died. Died. Everybody in the class died. Oh my God. Have a heart. Do not correct it all here. حاجة صعبة أوي. Some teachers are like that. Please have a heart. Please. I'm begging you. So as for lesson number 4, what do you think the answer is? Yes, Abdullah. Sometimes you cannot help yourself. We're teachers, man. It happens. It happens to me. So again, it depends on the aim here. If it is a grammar lesson, please correct it on the spot. If not, you don't have to correct it at all. You can ignore it totally if it was just listening for a specific information, saxophone. If it was about saxophone, خلاص, he got it right. Or she got it right. So it depends on the aim. If it is grammar, will be on the spot. If it was listening for a specific information and the target was saxophone, do not correct it, or he got the word correctly. I know that we have the urge to correct everything, maybe in another session. Because when we overcorrect, so we didn't focus on the achievement that he got the word saxophone correctly, and now we are focusing on the mistake while our aim was listening. This is not the best or the wisest choice as a teacher. If your aim was the word saxophone and they got it right, praise them. Forget about this grammar error. You cannot fix the world in one session. Maybe later on, maybe you know that this student has a problem with subject-verb agreement, or with this kind of language, or this kind of, you know, piece of information. So you can just speak with them later. You can give them a task, but do not correct the grammar while your aim was listening. Okay? So you cannot fix the whole world in one session. For grammar correct at the moment, for vocabulary or fluency delayed correction. Who said so? Radwa. Did I say that? Did I classify it this way? This is a misinterpretation of what I said. If it is for fluency, we delay the correction. If it is for accuracy, we correct on the spot. If it is irrelevant, we can ignore the correction. So 3 options. On the spot, if it is controlled practice or we're focusing on accuracy. Delayed, if it is a fluency task, we delay it. We do not correct it all. Irrelevant, or if you know it has something emotional in it, like somebody came to the class for the first time and he said, "My name Muhammad." So do not just embarrass them in front of the whole class and say, "You forgot is. My name is Muhammad." So one more time. Accuracy. If you are demonstrating something, you can correct on the spot. If it is a controlled practice task, you can correct on the spot. If it is during the feedback itself, you can correct on the spot. Delay the correction if it is tackling fluency. That's it. This is the bottom line. Lovely jubbly. We can move to how to correct. I will need a volunteer here. Type 1 if you want to volunteer. I need a volunteer for this task. Ahmed Taha, Mahmoud. Okay, Ahmed was the first to type. So, Ahmed, I'll unmute you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam. How are you, my friend?
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. I'm really happy to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you are here today.
Me too.
So we're going to do this task together. You will act as a student, Ahmed. I'll act as a teacher. Actually, I'll act as 5 types of teachers, or 5.
Okay.
Let's say it will be something similar to
so now I'm the student, okay?
You are the student. Give me just a second.
Yes.
I'm just bringing the task
okay.
on my laptop. Zoom is a little late. So Ahmed, you're just a student in my class, in my let's say pre-intermediate class. We are gonna do this role play. Please say a sentence in front of you.
We go to the beach yesterday.
Yesterday? So
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake here.
Grammar.
I think we go to the beach yesterday is correct. Oh, it's not correct. Yes, yes. I have a grammar mistake here. I should say we went to the beach yesterday.
You're a brilliant student. Some students will never discover that like from the first time. So
because I'm a teacher.
let's try it one more time, and I will use a different technique. Okay?
Okay.
Say it.
We go to the beach yesterday.
Yesterday you.
I think yesterday in the past. So it's better to say we went, not we go, because yesterday used for the keywords for the past tense.
Okay.
So I should say we went to the beach yesterday.
Again, you are a brilliant student, which is not the case in our class. So I.
Okay, okay. I can say it in another way. Okay, I knew that we go to the beach yesterday is correct for me because I'm not brilliant. Okay, I
So
am lazy student.
not quite. Look, we go to the beach yesterday. We go to the beach yesterday. Go. Ahmed.
What?
We go
I'm listening.
yesterday.
Hi. Ah, we go here. The verb is not. I think it's not right.
Okay. So let's move to another one.
Okay.
Say it one more time. Say the sentence one.
Okay. We go to the beach yesterday.
Sorry, do you mean you go every day?
No, no. Yesterday.
So,
I made a mistake here. Okay, I can say we go to the beach every day, as you say, Stitch.
okay. So let's move to another one.
Okay, thank you.
Can you say no, another technique? Can you say it one more time?
Okay, we go to the beach yesterday.
You went to the beach yesterday. That's nice. Who did you go with?
Uh-huh. Oh, I go with my father.
You went with your father.
Oh, I'm sorry, sorry.
When did
Okay, okay. I went. Sorry, I went with my father yesterday.
Okay, lovely. So those are 5 techniques. I'm going to talk about them really quickly. The
Okay.
teacher number
Thank
1.
you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for
You're welcome.
passing
You're
this.
welcome.
So the first technique is called using prompts. I used the word grammar. I said yesterday. So grammar. If the problem was with intonation, for example, do you think you can use prompts without giving them some kind of background knowledge about the word intonation? Of course, you will not be able to. You can use music. So we use simple language. When it comes to prompts, it requires some familiarity with terminology. Again, this is a disadvantage here. If your students lack knowledge about or they're quite unfamiliar with terminology, please do not use prompts. You can use any other techniques. And it can actually stop the flow of the speech. So this is another drawback. Anyway, it's easy to use. It indicates the type of error that the learner should be looking for. This is the advantage. The next technique, or the second technique, is about repeating the utterance to the point of the error. So what did I do with Ahmed? I just said, yesterday you, and I paused. I used my facial expressions. Guys, I know that you are using this naturally. This happens in our classes by nature, but I'm just telling you the names. So the teacher repeated the utterance up to the point of the error. So I said, yesterday you, and I used my eyebrow. You. So sometimes they will not be able to fathom or understand why are you doing this. Ahmed was a brilliant student, so he got it correctly. in a lower level class, they might give you some kind of hard time, and you might switch to another technique. If it doesn't work, like when I repeated the utterance up to the point of the error and it didn't work, I can use my finger highlighting, which I used in technique number 3. So when I said not quite, yesterday then I stopped at, and when you use your finger highlighting, try not to use one finger, because the sentence, like you can use one hand like that. Yesterday we go. If you use one finger here, that would be sometimes, it happened, you know, I was assessing CELTA one day, and one of the teachers was really happy with finger highlighting. He ended up doing like some weird stuff in the classroom during the finger highlighting. So be careful, do not take the other fingers down. So we go. Very important. Do not use one finger. The sentence, do not take any other finger. Don't bend any fingers. I'm sorry for saying that, but it's, you know, it's sometimes dangerous. Finger highlighting is sometimes dangerous. D, when I said, sorry, do you mean you go every day? This is the 4th technique. So the first technique, I used the prompts. The second technique, I used repetition. I repeated the utterance until the point of the error. And technique number 3 was finger highlighting. Technique number 4 is called questioning. So do you mean you go every day? So you find a question to draw their attention to the error. So one question to draw their attention to the error. Do you mean you go every day? So this is questioning, or a teacher asks a question. The 5th technique is called reformulation. When I said, you went to the beach, that's nice. Who did you go with? With a rising intonation on went. You went to the beach yesterday. Who did you go with? Actually, this is amazing because it doesn't cut the flow of the speech, but sometimes the students do not catch it. They don't get it. So this is another drawback that will, you know, force you to use another technique with it. So these are 5 techniques of how to correct errors. So the first one, prompts. The second one, we can say repeating the utterance or repetition, but you pause before the error and use your facial gestures. The third one is finger highlighting. And again, please, this is your hand, this is a sentence. Do not take any fingers down. So number 4, questioning. You ask a question to keep the conversation flowing. And number 5 is reformulation. You went to the beach yesterday. You went with a rising intonation, with a stress, with an extra word stress, sorry, sentence stress on the word went. You went to the beach yesterday. That's nice. Who did you go with? So these are the 5 techniques. Of course, we can, if it is a fluency activity, we can just take a note and correct it on the board with the students later on. So how many techniques? Yes, it's kind of a scaffolding, Nada. Like you are helping them to discover the error. Is it a must to use only one or a specific one with a specific error? No, this is really flexible. You can use one, you find it doesn't work, you switch to another one. if a student makes a mistake or produces an error, do not just, you know, patronize them by keeping asking them. You can just say, I'll come back to you with a nice smile. Somebody else might answer the question. So be flexible in the classroom. It is not a test. You know, I want you to take yourself out of the testing environment and submerge yourself in the teaching environment. Be accepting, accept them, accept their mistakes, sympathize with them. Okay, when they make a mistake, when they produce an error, that's really normal in your class, and you should be tolerant with that. Of course, Shayma. Once they discovered the mistake, why are you using another technique? You use another technique if they couldn't. And if you used another technique and they couldn't, you can say, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. What about you, Ahmad? What do you think? What about you, Muhammad? What about you, Nada? What about you, Mina? And so on. So you do not force one student. You know, they learn from each other. Teacher 5, yes, is nice. I'm not saying that one of them is better than the other. All of them can be used interchangeably. So, yeah. So allow me to take 5 minutes of your time. I finished my session. I hope you find it useful. Allow me to take 5 minutes between error and mistake. You can Google that, Radwa. It will not make a difference when you know the difference between error and mistake. But generally speaking, error, some books said that the error is something that the students know, but they still produce wrong. When I say my name, Muhammad, I know that he, she, it takes is, but I still produced it. This is an error. Mistake is when I don't know that there is, or I was supposed to add is. So this theoretical knowledge is not really useful in the classroom. Error, the students know, have the knowledge, but they still produce an error. A mistake is somebody, you know, he doesn't know at all. This is what I read before. The 5 techniques, the first one, we can call it prompts. They are on the screen now, Radwa. Yesterday, grammar, this is what we call prompts. Number 2, repetition and pausing before the mistake. Number 3, finger highlighting. Number 4, asking a question. Number 5, we call it reformulation. Okay? Discover the mistake. We need to discuss with others to keep them involved. By the way, Shayma, it depends on the situation in the classroom. If somebody discovered the mistake, that means if it was a common mistake, if it was while monitoring, you were monitoring the whole classroom and you saw what the students were doing. If it was a common mistake and everybody made it, please comment on that, re-clarify what you clarified before. So your decision here should be based on monitoring, whether to elaborate or to move on. Yes, it is recorded this time, Ale. Would you please repeat prompts, techniques? Actually, when a student, did you attend the session from the beginning, Summer? If you want me to repeat, did you attend it from the beginning? If my lesson is just speaking, should I have a long time to correct mistakes because I have problem with time? We can have another session on how to, let's say, how to manage time, because there are some time consumers or some time consuming pitfalls. Okay, so if we move on, that's the end of my session. And actually, I recorded this session. I will upload it on YouTube as soon as possible. I will also share the PowerPoint slide with you. Okay, lovely. So if you give me 5 minutes of your time, next Friday is the last batch of my CELTA preparation course in 2020. Throughout 2020, I provided my fellow teachers with a huge discount of 50%. In 2021, the discount will never be 50% again. So if you are hesitating, this is a good chance for you to join my course for half price. So the original price is 3,200, which again is the cheapest TEFL course in the market. It was cut in half, and it's still cut in half for the last batch in 2020. In 2021, I will provide you with discounts, but it will never be as huge as this one. The course starts on November 6th, and it lasts for 4 weeks, Fridays and Saturdays from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. If you want to do the course, you can apply here. I'm going to share the link with you in the chat box. And you can contact Sandy, my overall coordinator for courses, here on WhatsApp. Again, I don't want to remind you more than that. I don't want to badger you, but do not come back to me and say, okay, we need the discount in 2021. The quality provided in this course is way different than anything you have seen before. I'm going to show you the sessions. Allow me to share my screen. These will be the sessions you're going to be provided with. 8 sessions, 8 3-hour sessions. Classroom management. You will learn how to manage your classroom, and you will learn how to produce like professional lesson plans, how to teach receptive skills, how to teach productive skills, how to teach vocabulary, how to teach grammar, how to deal with lower levels. And of course, we will cover the CELTA terminology and recap on the whole course. By the way, you will also, during the course, we will analyze real lessons and reflect on them. Lessons that the teachers did well, lessons that the teachers didn't do very well, and we will learn from their mistakes. So once you go to your classroom after my course, you will be way more confident. And if you're applying for CELTA, of course, I bet that you're not going to hear something new on the course. So anyway, another thing I'd like to talk about, again, this is the final chance to get any of our courses with a huge discount. These are the courses we provide for teachers. CELTA preparation, I present this course myself. Academic writing, he is another tutor, Hamid Sharif. Teach online is provided by a deputy holder as well. TEFL young learners, if you're interested in teaching kids, this course is full of you know, activities and techniques that should be used with kids. As for the phonology course, It helps you teach phonology more effectively, and it helps you improve your pronunciation as well. And both courses, TEFL Young Learners and Phonology, are delivered by Laura Woodward. She is a CELTA tutor, CELTA assessor, and CELT S and CELT P moderator and tutor. Language for Teachers is also introduced by another CELTA tutor, local Delta tutor, Amanda Gamble. So that helps you with the most common problems with, language error for teachers. So that is tailored especially for the Middle East teachers. Let me go back to the last slide. So if you want to take a screenshot of this or allow me to share the link over time in the chat box. My Gmail account, of course. Thank you, Nada. You're sending this privately, Nada. Can you copy paste it in the, because privately, I'm sorry, I just blocked the chat. No TPs, Shayma, no TPs. TPs will take the course to a different dimension. It's not gonna be just a CELTA preparation course. It's gonna be a TEFL course or a TESOL course. I'm willing to provide something similar soon once I get like a strong accreditation. Reem Noor, if Abdullah is still here, wants to work at English Capsules, Abdullah. Thank you, Lutfi, for attending. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I know that you are so familiar with everything I said today. So I know that I wasted your time, but I enjoyed your company. So this is the link to my CELTA preparation course. You can apply. Thank you, Suhair. Thank you. And this is the final slide on my course. These are the courses we provide, and this is the link that takes you to all the courses. Guys, you are sending to me privately. Can you click on everyone? Thank you, Ahmed. You're sending me privately. Oh my God. So I did that myself. I didn't allow you to text publicly. So Shaimat Beheri, did you study the CELTA preparation course with me? Again, Nada, this is private. The certificates for all the courses we provide are from TEFLism only. It proves that you attended the course. Yes, only online. Whenever I have a TEFL course face-to-face, I will announce on Facebook as well. Okay? Yes, similar. It's like a methodology course. Amina, you are sending privately again. Thank you for your nice words, but this is, nobody else can see it. I have attended CELTA preparation, and every time I join a course with you, read new things. Thanks a lot. You can share this like publicly. So guys, if you want to help me market for the upcoming course, you can just mention something you learned today, something you enjoyed today, and mention my name, hashtag CELTA preparation. Okay, so you can help by just posting something useful you learned today, mention my name, hashtag CELTA preparation on Facebook. That would be so nice of you. Okay? That will be so helpful. Thank you very much. And looking forward to seeing you on the course or on another session. Okay. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you or meeting you again soon. Bye-bye.